what excites him, what scares him. All of that is very just true to the character, and I think if both performances have that, then I think there's a great consistency, and everything else is just, flourish or like colour,
Hi guys, I'm Jonatan Blomberg, writing for MovieZine in Sweden.
Hi.
Hey, Jonathan.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great, especially now when I get to speak with the three of you, of course. I wanted to start by asking Ceara and Dónal how it was to join this cast for the second season, and maybe not knowing as much as the rest of the cast what you were going to expect from this project. So how was it to join?
Yeah, I think we were really lucky with joining the show, because the cast were just so welcoming and took us in with open arms, and were incredibly supportive in guiding us through the huge and wonderful world that is the Wheel of Time. So we kind of had these incredible mentors almost as we joined the show, and not only that, joining a fantasy show of this size, we had these incredible sets and props and costumes and hair that we could interact with, and we're so lucky that we work with very little green screen, so you have so much to actually kind of interact with, that really just help you kind of fall into the world, and as overwhelming as it is maybe on the first day, pretty soon you just start to feel like second nature, and yeah, it was just a really wonderful experience.
Yeah, seconded. I mean, you're totally right, Jonathan, that there's a possibility that something like this could feel really daunting, and I'm sure on the lead up to it, there were probably things that I put the blinkers on and I kind of didn't try to think about. And those things are the size of the sets, or the amount of fantastic people that are behind the scenes here. But what it does make is that you feel really supported by a phenomenal amount of people that are there to want to make your job as easy and as truthful as it can be. And my first days on set were with Kate Fleetwood, who plays Leandrin, and our director of season 2 is Tom Napper as well. And those were my first days on set, and it just meant that we were just looking after what's happening in the scenes, our connection to our characters, and the dynamic of what we both want, and that allowed it not to feel daunting. And then everything else, I think, kind of came with time. So I feel really lucky that my introduction to it was with Tom and Kate, because it was a very enjoyable and not daunting experience.
Yeah, and Dónal, your character is not new, but you're new to play that specific character. Was that something that you talked about with the creators on how to bridge the gap? Because they called it out before the first second dropped about how seamless this transfer was. So how did you guys make it feel so seamless? I've seen the first 3 episodes, so I can vouch for that too. But how did you actually make it happen?
Yeah, it inevitably was a conversation with the creative team. You spoke with Rafe Judkins and Justine Gilmer, and I think what felt important was that there's a kind of essential essence or spirit of the character that is there in the source material, the books, and also in the scripts. And so, season 1 wasn't out yet, of course. So it felt right to kind of map Matt's journey through season 1 by reading those scripts and kind of imagining how that context is almost like a backstory to arrive me at the start of season 2, like, and meet it as any other script, any other character. And yeah, I think we had an amazing dialect coach as well, and I thought once there was a consistency within the voice and the energy of the character, I think everything else followed suit. And from the source material, just gathering the way that this man sees the world and his beliefs, his kind of what excites him, what scares him, all of that is very just true to the character. And I think if both performances have that, then I think there's a great consistency, and everything else is just, you know, flourish or like color, you know.
Yeah. And Marcus, you're coming back for the second season, so you're a veteran now. But me being a Swede, without spoiling anything, I know that there is at least one scene with my fellow countryman Forrest. So I was wondering a bit if you could talk about how it was working with him on set.
Yeah, man. He's just amazing. He's just amazing. I think from the episodes we've seen, he's someone who's like really stood out of like how he's I think he's gonna take season 2 by storm. Really, he's played it so cleverly, and it's a role that is really, really cool. And I think we're really lucky when you start out in your career to have people like that come into the show with such confidence and such understanding of themselves and how they work. And you can kind of almost just by like osmosis kind of take that kind of practice that they have. And I think he was someone that I had a scene with him quite early on and in quite an intimate setting. And I think he just set the pace for it, really. And you kind of really, really learn so much from working with someone like that in a close space. And I think sometimes on this show where there's so much VFX and huge sets with a lot of essays, and having just like a one-to-one scene with someone like that is amazing, and it can develop your character at such a faster rate. And Faris is one of those actors who's come in and you just learn so much learned so much from, sorry. And I think I think throughout season 2, I think he's going to be a character that people really, really enjoy to watch.
Yeah, I hope so too. And your character, the arc is quite specific. Not to spoil anything, but I was wondering how much like from the books have you gotten from there, and how much do you take from the script, like to make it feel true to your character?
Yeah, I think in season 1, obviously there's quite a few changes from the book quite early on. So I think it was really nice to kind of lay that groundwork in terms of where he is and the kind of the trauma and stuff. But I think season 2, it kind of started to come back into sort of like things from the book, from Either World and The Great Hunt as well. So it was really nice to kind of go back and find those kind of characters and those chapters, and kind of he starts on the hunt for the horn with the Shienarans. And I think I think it's been amazing to kind of see the arc throughout the books, but to kind of delve into the scripts as well. And I think that alignment where their kind of arcs kind of correlate to one another is really, really cool. And going into season 3 now is something that's really, really exciting.
Yeah. And for my final question, I wanted for you, Ceara, to have a moment just to introduce your character a bit, since she's the new character of this bunch. So who are you playing?
So I'm playing Elayne Trakand. She is the daughter heir of Andor, so she's next in line to the Lion Throne. And she's a really interesting character because she obviously has the elegance and the poise of someone who has been training to be a queen since the day she was born. But she also has the heart of a lion, and she really she's like a deeply honorable woman with great loyalties and a real sense of duty for someone so young. And she's also incredibly intelligent. She loves learning about the different kind of cultures over which she rules. So I think she'll be a really interesting character to watch in in season 2, she really brings a different dynamic for Egwene and Nynaeve to interact with, because she's not someone that they've kind of encountered before. And Elayne herself is kind of on this journey of making new friends, because it's not something that she's encountered before in her life as well. She's been raised in a way where she hasn't necessarily felt like being a queen and having friends is something that can coexist. So it's been really interesting to kind of play that realization within her that maybe it is something that she could have.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for your time, and best of luck with the premiere.